Hey guys, thanks for tuning into The Dish. Today we're going to be talking about the concept of curvy. So there was an article that we kind of talked about a little bit earlier that basically was saying that we have been abusing the term curvy, and people are using curvy to describe everyone from people like Taylor Swift to people who don't look quite like Taylor Swift. So first I want to know, what is your definition of curvy?
Mine, if your measurements are at least like 10 inches apart, then I would consider you curvy at any size. So if you're, 42, 32, 42, whatever, like you're curvy in my mind.
I would definitely have to go back to the shoulder to hip ratio, with the, skinny little waist, but she got much, like that kind of connotation. I don't know, I feel like people should be able to define for themselves what their body type is.
When I think of curvy, I usually think of like an hourglass type figure. Basically you have curves somewhere, so booty, hips, breasts, something, there has to be a curve.
Like for me, the definition of curvy is having like a proportionate waist to hip ratio. Like I don't even define it as like, you don't have to have boobs to be curvy, you can just be top heavy. I do think it's being abused. I think that people are just saying it because it's trendy. Like everybody wants to be curvy now, everyone.
I mean, I feel like they are using it in place of like breasts, hips, and behind. So it does seem kind of weird to have someone like a Miley Cyrus called curvy. And then it's also dangerous too, because then if someone who might actually be curvy or somebody who's a bigger size than that, they're like, well, if she's curvy, then what am I? Like,
I think that it is abused a lot. I don't really get offended when thin people use it. I think I get more offended when someone's a little lumpy or has more than a curve. Like fuller women should just be referenced as fuller women, not necessarily a curvy woman.
Okay. So you feel like curvy has a limit?
Yes, curvy stops at like 14, size 14, 16, 18, maybe 20.
And then you like after that?
In my opinion, it's completely skinny. And I think that you can be skinny and curvy. Like you can have some curves, you can have hips, but I don't agree with that. She's not curvy. Taylor Swift's not curvy. It's being abused.
Look, sorry.
For sure. Yeah, no,
sorry,
I'm sorry.
y'all.
Sorry, not sorry. You're not curvy.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've been having this little struggle sometimes because, I gained some weight over the last couple of years. So I've never been skinny and I've never been, big. Right. But then it's like there are a lot of people that are like, oh, you're plus size too, right? And I'm like,
and you're struggling on whether or not.
Because it's like,
I've always teetered the line too.
So for
like, I don't know where
girls
I fit.
like me who are like between like a 10 and a 12, there's always like that middle space where it's like you don't know, it's kind of it's rough out there.
Like, where am I?
Right.
It depends on what I have on. Some days I'm just fat, and some days I'm curvy. Some days I look skinny. For me, it depends on what I'm wearing.
Yeah, I go, curvy or like plus size or that kind of thing. I'm not one of those like who's claimed fat and just, you could just walk down the street and call me fat.
Because you will get dealt with.
Right.
See, I've always been called curvy my entire life since I was 12. Like I always had like a little waist and
She got some
hips.
situations going. Y'all can't see it because she's sitting down, but it's situation.
But I wasn't always comfortable with it. But for me, I think because I've always been called curvy, that's how I defined it. I was like, okay, well, I guess curvy is you have a smaller waist and you're hippie. And you might not even have booty. You just like hippie.
Yeah.
Like you're, wide.
You got the literal curve.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I define as curvy, like waist to hip ratio.
Do you feel like it's a term that should not be ever used to describe white women? Or do you feel like it's wrong to say that?
There's some curvy white women out there.
Yeah,
but
I
think that, for us, it was always more acceptable. I mean, I remember reading something in a magazine when I was like maybe 12 or 13 that said that, Black and Latino women don't usually have as many body image issues as white women do. Because with white women, it's kind of harder for, in their cultures to, be accepted as anything above, what their normal skinny body types are. And I mean, if they want to embrace that side, let them embrace it. I don't think it's something that we own specifically because there's a lot of skinny Black and Latino women. So
Right. And I feel like saying that we own that term almost isolates the women in our communities and the Latino communities who aren't curvy. So it's like, okay, so do I not fit in because I'm not curvy?